When a company that you invest in gets woke, does that mean your investments will go broke? Like most things in this life, it depends. But the reality of it is we are seeing a rash of corporate activism on a range of social issues today. Now, how do you navigate that as an investor, as someone who invests in these companies, these publicly traded companies? Well, let's take a look at it. All right. The nation is politically polarized right now. You've got roughly 48% of the people who are on one side of the argument. You've got another 48% who are diametrically opposed to the first 48%. And you've got maybe 4% of the people in the middle. Moderate, could go either way. So when a company comes out and they make a stance, they take a stance on an issue of social justice or what have you, or a political issue, they risk alienating potentially up to half of the people who may be their clients, their shareholders, and or their employees. Now, I know of a company right now, I'm not going to mention their name, but if I did, you would immediately know who they're talking about. They are a company that's in the Dow 30. I'll give you that. And this company, they're having a back and forth internally. The employees are pretty upset at the CEO for some comments that he made that were uninformed on a certain political issue. So there's strife created in that Fortune 500 company, okay, because the employees feel one way about the issue, or a great deal of the employees feel one way about the issue, and the CEO is kind of like, now he's caught out there. There's another company, also a Dow 30 component. And I point that out because these are big companies that people invest in. But there's another one who was in the news recently, and they made a decision based on a political issue. And turns out that now a large swath of their customer base is actually saying, you know what, we're not going to deal with this product anymore because the company doesn't represent our values. Okay. So what is a company to do? Because there could be some political stances that are definitely worth taking. All right. But here's where the waters get muddy. Okay. Now let me give you an example of a political stance that I thought was worthy. Back when I was in high school, they had the apartheid in South Africa. And Coca-Cola was one of the companies that had not divested itself in South Africa, not during the time that I was in high school. And so me and some other students, we decided just not to consume Coca-Cola products. And we did that as a show of solidarity with the South Africans who were being oppressed under apartheid. Okay. So we thought at that time that Coca-Cola should come out of South Africa. And I still feel that that was the right decision. They should have done that. So if a company is going to make a political stance, if they're going to take that risk, because it is a risk, they could alienate some people and lose money, lose share owners, lose employees. If they're going to do that, they need to be consistent. Now, what we're seeing right now in a lot of the companies that are out there making these decisions to go one way or the other or make public statements and take sides on political issues, we're seeing a lack of consistency. And let me give you two shining examples of that. The NBA, there is news that the NBA's ratings are down precipitously. And some people are attributing that to certain political stances that they have made, that the players have made, and that the organization itself has made over the last couple of years. Okay, prominent players have made certain statements, participated in certain demonstrations, and has alienated part of their customer base. Now, here's where the NBA and certain players are getting in trouble, along with Nike. Okay, they are saying that they are protesting for certain human rights. but at the same time, they are not protesting against the rights of human beings who live in other countries where the NBA and Nike does business. Okay, so you've got to. We need consistency, don't we? I mean, treating one group of human beings one way should not be justified if you are protesting treating another group of human beings in a different way. Just because they live in different nations should not matter. But China is a new market for the NBA and a relatively fresh market for Nike. Not only are they a new market, but there are 1 billion consumers in China. Okay, so that represents a lot of money for the NBA and for Nike. So they're at this, precipice, at this point where they don't want to, they don't want to, rankle the Chinese government. Because the Chinese government, unlike the government here in America, the Chinese government can make your life miserable if you're doing business there and you're a foreign company, or if you're a company native to China. I mean, just ask Jack Ma about that. So, consistency. If these companies are going to go out and they're going to make these certain stances about human rights and other types of, political stances, moral stances, social justice positions, then shouldn't we expect consistency from them? You can be a socially conscious investor, but it puts you in a moral dilemma if the company has one position as it relates to people in the Western world, America, and another position totally, or just refuses to espouse the same view about situations in other countries. Okay, that's pretty low, if you ask me, because I believe all people should be treated with dignity, not just people here in America, but everywhere. Okay, so if these companies are going to continue to take these types of positions, they have to be consistent, and they also have to expect. And when I say these companies, remember, if you own shares in a company, you are an owner of that company. So you have to decide as part of your due diligence whether or not you are okay with the company speaking out and potentially negatively impacting the bottom line, and therefore the value of your shares. You might be okay with that. Or you might want a company just to do whatever it is the company is in business to do and serve everyone, okay, regardless of politics or anything like that. You may be on that side of the argument, okay, but you gotta, as always, do your due diligence to figure out where in the equation you come down on that part of the equation. So corporate activism is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere, okay? We're going to see more of it, I predict. So you as an investor, you have to evaluate these companies with that in mind. You have to, as an owner of the company, I don't care if you own one share or a fraction of a share, you are an owner of that company. And so as an owner, you have to figure out whether or not you're okay with a company taking a political stance and possibly impacting the money that eventually goes into your pocket. So just food for thought. We got to think about a lot of things here when we're in the 21st century, when we're talking about making money and investing and doing those types of things. So think about it, and I'll talk to you soon.